Good morning, welcome to Morning Maths again, day 43. You just need your pencil and paper. Let's get started with year 3 level questions. Question 1, 500 plus a mystery plus 5. All of that equals 575. If I put my hats on here, units, tens and hundreds. Up here in the question, which is up the top, we've got 5 units here. Over here we've got no units, no tens, we've got 500s. So we see that we've got the 5 units up there, we've got the 500s, but we don't have the 7t. We don't have the 7 tens, which is 7t, isn't it? 7t. So the missing digits are 7t, which go in this missing box, this empty box. And next is question 2. Column addition, 234, and it says the word plus, doesn't it? Which of course means plus or add. We're adding 50. Be very careful if you're lining up. You must line up down the right. So we have this little gap here, don't we? There's nothing here, not a 0, not anything. Just a little gap. Excuse me, cubes. So 234 plus 50 we're going to do. 4 plus 0 is 4. 3 plus 5 is 8. And 2 in the hundreds column. So that was units, wasn't it? Tens and hundreds. 4 plus 0 is 4 in the units. 3 tens plus 5 tens is 8 tens. And 200 is just 200. Plus makes things bigger. So 234, we added something to it. It got bigger. Became 284. And we can move on to question 3 next. That's going to be a minus. We're doing complicated minuses now, year 3s, aren't we, every day? Because you know your column subtraction method, or maybe it's a target for you. Maybe it's something you're working on. But you know how you'll get good at something. If you're not, it's practice. That's how you get good at something you're not yet good at. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 take away 7. We can't do that. If you had £2, you couldn't give away £7. So 2 needs some help. We go next door. The 8's in the hundreds column, isn't it? The 8's in the hundreds column, worth 800. That can go down to a 7. And we take that 1 that we've just taken off the 8. We bring it over to the tens column. Becomes 10 tens in the tens column. And with another 2, we now have 12 tens. 12 tens take away 7 tens. We can do 12 take away 7. 12 take away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 5. 12 tens take away 7 tens is 5 tens. And in the hundreds column, 7 hundreds take away 2 hundreds. 7 take away 2 is 5. 500 in this case. So we get 552. Because minus makes things smaller. So 823 has now got smaller. And we can go on to question 4, which is times. We'll just need our times table songs. 3. We're going to sing our 3's 9 times. Times 9. 3 times 9. Sing our 3's 9 times. 3, 6, 9, 12 and 15. 18, 21 and 24. 27 is 27. If you have 3, but you don't just have it once, you have it 9 times, you have a lot. You have 27. Just make sure that looks like equals. 3 times 9 is 27. Question 5, we can fit here, can't we? 15 divided by 5, which means, of course, 15 shared between 5. It's the same as putting 15 into 5 groups. I'll put a group here, a group up here, a group about here, a group about here, and a group here. So 5 groups. They can join that group, join that group, join that group, join that group, and join that group. 3 in that group, 3 in that group, 3 in that group, 3 in that group, 3 in that group. The answer is, of course, 3, because there's 3 in every group. 15 divided by 5 equals 3. And that's the year 3 level work done. We'll soon be moving on to year 4 level. Let's clear everything. Year 4 question 6. Something plus 300 plus 48. Something plus 300 plus 48. That all adds up to 5,348. We've already got the 348 up there, haven't we? But we don't have 5,348 because the 5,000 was missing. That's what goes in the empty box. 5,348. 5,348. Question 7. 5,895 more than 27. More than is plus. It's plus. I'm going to put the biggest number at the top. We're only adding quite a small number. We'll line it up like that. Down the right, of course. Like so. 5 plus 7 is 12. 9 plus 2 is 11. Plus 1 is 12. 8 plus 1 is 9. And the 5, which is, of course, worth 5,000 at the front. 5,922. On to question 8. Question 8 has the same vocabulary as we've been looking at. We've decreased by 1,000, decreased by 523. If you know your number bonds to 1,000, you would know this, but number bonds to 1,000 are not an easy thing to know, so maybe you don't. But after loads of years of practice, I've learned them, and it is, I think, 477, but I'll get the method to check that. You have to get lots of help all the way along. 10 take away 3, it's supposed to be a 10 take away 3 is 7. 9 take away 2 is 7. 9 take away 5 is 4. And that 0 is just 0. 477. Can't remember what I said earlier now, so I hope that's right. But that does fit together with 523 to make 1,000. Question 9 is another times tables in disguise question like we've been doing lately. We were doing the grid method for a while, but lately we've been practicing times tables in disguise. Grid method is, of course, for things that you can't just do in your head. But 4 times 60 you can probably do in your head, or just by writing out this. Because 4 times 6 is 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. That's 24. And then we have to place a 0. So 4 times 60 is 240. And we'll go to question 10, which is share 150 between 5. Share 150 between 5. Oops. 150. Share 150 between 5. How many 5s in 1? 0, carried a 1. How many 5s in 15? 5, 10, 15 is 3, and then place a 0. I just did that with the bus stop automatically. Another way of doing it is times tables in disguise, because 15 divided by 5 equals 5, 10, 15 is 3, and you just place that 0 from the question. 2 ways of doing it there. You only have to do one of those, but either way it's 30. Depends which way you prefer. Bus stop can be super quick after you've had a lot of practice, so it doesn't take long. And a lot of people I've seen who can do a 5-second bus stop quicker than people can work it out in their head. So, let's go to year 5 level questions. Question 11. We have 30 plus 6 plus something that's probably in the decimals. And all of that equals 36.8. Well, we've got 30 and 6, 36. We don't have the 0.8, so the 0.8 is missing, isn't it? 0.8 is what we need. Question 12 underneath. Addition. This might trick you up, this lining. This might trick you, this lining up. I'm going to put the most digits on the top. It's also the biggest number, because 35 and a bit is bigger than 2 and a bit. Line up the decimal point, that's the key thing. It is plus. Just checking. 2.8. I have to go 2 before the point and 8 after the point. So the decimal point, if you've put it in already, it'll help you see how to line it up. 2. 7 plus 8 is 15. 5 plus 2 is 7. Plus 1 is 8. And 3 at the front, which is worth 3 tens, 30, because it's 38.52. So it's a little bit messy. The mouse is shaking about a bit at the moment for some reason. You know what computers are like. Question 13. is 5, take away 2 and a bit. 5, you've got to recognise that you need to make that 5.00 because 5 is bigger than 2 and a bit, so 5 goes on the top. But it needs a 0.00 to make our method work. Take away 2.34. Whoa. That is just a decimal point, believe it or not. Try and make them a similar size. So they look like quite big decimal points now. I'm struggling with the mouse at the moment. Right, 0 take away 4. 0 needs some help. We go along here. Right, 10 take away 4. Sorry about the mess. 10 take away 4 is 6. 9 take away 3 is 6. 4 take away 2 is 2. 2 and a bit, 2.66. Number bond check for anyone? 66 plus 34 makes 100. And question 14, that will be multiplication. Product means times. Say that to yourself a few times if you need to. Product means times. Product means times. Try and learn that product means times. Standard method here. 7 times table practice. 7 times 3, 21. 7 times 5, 35 plus 2, 37. 7 times 7, 49 plus 3, 52. 5,271 we get. We have one more question for year 5 level, which is division. You're dividing by 2. How do you know if a number divides by 2 exactly? It's pretty simple. If it's even, then it will divide by 2 exactly. And this number is even. Even numbers end in 2, 4, 6, 8 or 0. How many 2's in 4? 2. How many 2's in 3? 1, remainder 1. How many 2's in 15? It's 2, it's 4, it's 6, and it's 8, and then it's 10, it's 12, 14, 7. My fingers said when I counted on my fingers. Remainder 1, because I only counted to 14, and that said 15. How many 2's in 18? Quite a lot. There's actually 9. 2,179. When you divide by 2, you halve something. So we've just halved that number. The question could have been, what is half of 4,358? So we'll go to year 6 level. Going to go nice and fast now. The videos have been getting faster, as I'm sure you have, with all the practice you've been getting. 8 plus a mystery plus 0.08. So at the moment we have 8, which could go there. 8.08, that's what we have. But we're supposed to have 8.88. So the 8 units is there. 0.08, that's that 800ths there. But this is missing, 0.8. 0.8 is missing. We usually write 0.8 for that. Question 17 is addition, but just be careful with your lining up. This is a trick question really, this one. 5.756. The trick question part about it is a lot of people would line it up wrong if they weren't careful. You must line up your decimal points. And then it's 32.7, so 32 before the point, 32.7. We add all these up. And we get 38.456. 32 plus 5, that's 37. But these bits make it go up to 38. Decimals after the point, they're just bits of a whole one, aren't they? They're just bits, sometimes called fractions of a whole one. Because fractions and decimals are actually the same. They're worth the same sometimes, but they just look different. They're different ways of showing a bit of something. Question 18. This less than this. Well, the biggest number must go at the top. That's 20,000. So if you got tricked, maybe you put the smallest number at the top. So we line it up like this, don't we? Lots of help required on this, because 0 take away 3 we can't do. 0 needs help from all the way along here. Ten take away 3 is 7. 1. That's 9 take away 6 is 3. 9 take away 5 is 4. And 1 at the front, which is actually worth 10,000. 1 10,000. 14,317. I don't know if you know your number bonds to 10,000. Maybe you can work them out. But that is a number bond to 10,000. 5,683 goes with 4,317 to make 10,000. There's a 10,000 as well. Gets us back to 20,000. I hope that made a bit of sense how I checked that, but I'm confident that's right now. Question 18. No, 19. This won't take long. 3.87. We write it out as if it's 387, even though it's not. Put the point in at the end. 3.87. That's a 3. 35. 7 times 5 is 35. 5 times 8 now is 40, plus 3 is 43. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 4 is 19. 19.35 we get. And we've got one question left, which is just quite a big bus stop for division. 20,480. But looking at those numbers, looking at those digits, it's not going to be very difficult. 20,000, because 4 fits into 20. It also fits into 4, 8, and doesn't fit into 0, so it's just a 0. So I can actually do this in my head, I think. It's going to be 5,120, I think. But let's make sure. I don't want to get it wrong. 5,000. There's the 100. 4 into 8 is 2. Yeah, 5,120. That was question 20. Let's just get our answers for today. 5,120 and all the others. Hopefully these are all correct. Let me know if they're not, or let someone know if they're not. That was day 43, wasn't it? So I'll see you next time on day 44, hopefully.